We are, in essence, a state virtual school. To be successful, it has to recognize how does it work with the local school districts. All right, those are the people who own our kids. We don't own these kids. We own them for maybe 1 or 2 courses. The rest of the time, they're owned by the normal school districts. So we've actually had to take really very much a different posture as this word blended keeps coming up. How do you work with an online environment in a traditional school? So a couple of examples of things that have been going on have been like in Miami-Dade. Miami-Dade had a huge problem. They had a class size reduction edict. They had students who were in need. So they actually opened up 56 learning labs, virtual learning labs, and there are 10,000 kids who are enrolled there in 1 week. Think about putting 10,000 kids into a brand new program in 1 week. It was a pretty wild week for us. And the majority of these are being very successful, and these kids are taking courses. They have a knowledgeable facilitator in the room, but they also have a virtual teacher that they can talk to. So it's combining those things, and that's one form of blended. Another way we've been working is over in the Tampa area. They were having a big problem with their homebound kids. Kids who are gone for 3 to 6 weeks. How do you address them? Right now, they do tutors. Think about the cost of the tutors going. Well, now what they do, since it's the same curriculum, they are actually going in and out of their virtual courses. So if they are in a traditional school building and then they have to leave, they pick up right where they were on the virtual version of it. They're gone 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, have the virtual teacher. Then when they come back, they're right up to date. They're right where they're supposed to be. We had another group, a principal came to us and said, I have this huge problem. And we said, what's the problem? I have 35 kids who failed 8th grade. And we all know what happens when kids fail 8th grades. Predominantly, you're going to lose them at some point. He said, what can we do? We said, well, why don't we do this? Why don't you reteach them 8th grade and we'll teach them 9th grade. We're going to double their load up. We're going to get them back on track. And out of the 35 kids, we save 34 of them. So we move them forward. So you have to listen to the local school districts as well. You can't force it down their throats. You want to work it out in a partnership. The last thing is we have a lot of school districts that want to have their own virtual program because of the money. All right, they want to keep their money. So what we actually offer in the state of Florida is what I call a franchise program. We allow school districts with an agreement with us to utilize our content and our professional development, and believe me, we have a ton of professional development. It's a key foundation for us. And we let them operate their own virtual program using our systems and content, and they served last year about 20,000 kids in the state. But they own the program, and the beauty of it is that sometimes they're not successful in the local school district virtual program, so they move them over to our program. Sometimes we know that they have to be in the local school district program, so we go back and forth. They do have some confinement, though, in that they have to live with the school year that we do not have to live with, so they still have a start and stop date. So these are all examples of blended, but now what we have is our content being used in classrooms, and teachers use parts of the content. They might send Johnny home with an assignment. They might send Betsy home with something that Betsy didn't quite get. They might find any number of reasons to use this content for a variety of ways within their classroom, because it's rare that you have content that could be an entire course. So they can pick and choose what they need to use. And then if the district happens to have a virtual program also, it's the same content, and they know exactly how they're working it. So I've seen blended just skyrocketing lately.